Hello, everyone, and welcome to another comic show, episode 37. It's good to see you guys. I'm your host, Technique, and I'm sitting here with my co-host. I was about to say, Go XLR. Matt Nighthawk plays, aka Matt. What's up, man?
It's always something, man. It's always something.
I know. I feel you, man.
But doing
How's
good.
it going, bro? How's everything been? How you doing, chat? By the way, hello.
Hello, everyone out there in live land and those listening to the podcast afterwards. Hello. I'm doing well, man. Another good week, another fun week. Clean shaven, got a haircut, so personally feeling good. But outside of that, it's been a wild week actually in this world. But yeah, just having a good time. Finally beat Pokemon a month and a half later, so that's fun.
Nice.
That's fun. I see you're having fun with a couple of games. But yeah, no, overall pretty well, man. How about yourself?
I've been good, man. There's a lot going on. A lot of games releases, a lot of things getting pushed back. And I'm the opposite effect of everyone. I'm happy things are getting pushed back. I'm like, my God, man, slow down. You know, people complain about not having stuff, but dang, we're in a place where we want it to be slow so we can enjoy what we have. Yeah, in the new Pokemon game, I mean, Scarlet and Violet look awesome.
That's true too. Yeah,
and it looks like they took the engine from Legends and they threw it into Scarlet and Violet and added some Sword and Shield to it, which is going to bring everybody together. Where people were complaining about there being no Pokemon battles and yada 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 and stadiums. Now we have it all together, and also graphics were complained about for Legends, which I didn't distract me at all. Being honest, I'd rather a game be smooth and not be jittery all over a sudden. You can talk about Elden Ring, how fantastic it is, but it has stutters. Legends didn't have it. Graphics ain't everything.
No game is perfect, and it's the Wild West out there. But as far as like the Pokemon aspect of it goes, like you said, it's cool to have that old school meets new school with Sword and Shield, and kind of like getting the vibe of like Red and Blue, going to new areas. And of course, obviously, Arceus that just came out, and the mixing and mashing of two. I hope it works well. I think a lot of people think it's going to work well, like you said, and I think it's going to be fun. Man. Yeah, I loved Arceus.
The major part of it, the complaints were just like, there's no PvP. Other than that, the people were like absolutely enjoying it. I think we're getting this much closer to having like an online version of Pokemon where it's clear, it's like actually online and not just like Pokemon battles.
Man, if it's cool. Imagine that game being online. Like that is literally the Pokemon game dream. A online Pokemon open world. Oh God, that'd be. I don't even know how they would do that. I mean, you can imagine there's enough regions already. DLC galore. I mean, that's literally so much money for them now that I'm thinking of it.
And think about it, like you could like play with your kids, and it's just a lot of great things. Because
the only thing holding it back would be the Switch at this point. Then, right? I would probably say their online netcode. That'd probably be the only thing holding it back.
I mean, only Smash Brothers suffer from that. Everything else seems to be fine. Like every other fighting game seems to be fine on the Switch. It's just Smash Brothers is just. Yeah,
Smash Brothers,
and we all think that's because they don't care about it and they rather you be local, but whatever.
Okay,
but anyway, today on the comic show, hello, what's up, Baki? What's up, Smooth Jacob? What's up, Carnage? What's up, everybody in the background that's lurking and everybody that's on the other website looking in. Yeah, man. So comics, we got a lot of stuff happening coming up. The drought is over, so to speak. I mean, in the next few months, we're going to be hit with a lot of things. The Batman was this month. Later this month is Moon Knight, and we have Morbius on April 1st, finally, like a set date. Thank goodness. And we know it's true because there's actual promotionals around it now, which they didn't have before. They just had like a trailer. So now Leto, right? Yeah.
Jared Leto, yeah.
He's going around and doing actual promotions. He's on tour and stuff like that, starting to do these like informationals and stuff about the show and like how excited he is about it and why he's excited. He seems to have done his research. God, I mean, what else is he going to do with having like literally years of delays? I'm pretty sure he's going to sit there and read a lot of Morbius books. So he should be a great Morbius. So, at this point, I'm pretty sure he can say it in his sleep. I watched their promotional on Instagram earlier today. Very well spoken. Very good job. He seemed like he was into it. Didn't seem like he was just reading something. He seemed like he really knew what he was talking about. Again, he had 2 to 3 years to sit there and read it. This movie was supposed to come out, I want to say 2.5 years ago. So with the
I think it was
delays and
supposed to
pandemic.
come out 2020. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, with the pandemic and all that stuff. I mean, we understand. Not getting on their backs about that, but I know he's probably really excited to get that out there because Marvel doesn't really hit that dark and gritty. Hasn't really hit it ever since Blade. Honestly, I can't think of any other off the top of my head where I was just like, oh yeah, Morbius looks dark and gritty. I don't even think Venom was. I think Venom felt like a parody to me a good bit of the time. It's more comedy than anything.
Yeah, like you think of Venom, you think of the character, and you don't necessarily think of that. Like my first taste really of Venom wasn't even the comic books. It was the cartoon, Spider-Man. The cartoon was like Spider-Man in the 90s.
Cartoon. I think that's a lot of people's first
and he
taste.
Wasn't corny. He was, I mean, he was out there. And then especially when you got Carnage, that show went a little bit crazy, but I don't know where like they got this corny vibe back and forth feel for it. I don't know where that came from.
I think they're trying to apply to like different age groups or something. But you know what's funny? Back in the day, Venom wasn't even. What is that?
I heard that too. I wasn't me.
Okay. All right. I don't know if it was a car or something in the background. Anyway, back in the day, Venom wasn't the popular one. It was Carnage. Because when Maximum Carnage came out in the 90s, nobody gave a shit about Venom. Like he was just there. I mean, once the Spider-Man cartoon came out, Venom started being a little bit more, gaining a little bit more popularity. But it was all about Carnage. Like, all about Carnage.
Yeah.
So now Venom hasn't really had a spotlight until I want to say Agent Venom. People started really investing in the Venom. And then Anti-Venom came out and people were like, what the hell is this? And then like, the break-offs because Carnage is pretty much Venom baby. The break-off period. We'll see.
You know what? I'm interested now because of how No Way Home, the trilogy of Spider-Man ended, and there was not a lot, but you saw the things that were taken from it, from Spider-Man the video game and other aspects of entertainment of Spider-Man. Right. I wonder if, I think we said it. That little tidbit that we got from Candyman saying those lines as Venom and seeing him peer out, that doesn't look like it's going to be a corny Venom. That looks like it's going to be what I believe we think the Venom is going to be. So we're talking about the game, excuse me, Spider-Man 2, that's supposed to come out next year or 2024.
What's his name?
The Candyman name. Is it Terrence?
Yeah, Terrence something. I can't
it may not be Terrence. But like if they go
Tony
a little bit dark or like
I got you.
What we assume they may do with it, like they've done with some other characters.
His name Tony. Tony Todd.
Tony Todd, yes.
Yep, Tony.
He's such a great actor. He's got such a great voice
Tony
too.
Is scary. Like how do you have grandchildren knowing your dad is Candyman or your granddad's Candy?
You're not reading me a bedtime story tonight. Nope, Grandma.
Nobody's gonna mess with you in school. Be like, my granddad's Candyman, right?
Oh my God!
Right? Go in the bathroom and say his name. Go ahead. Yeah. But I think his Venom is going to be scary.
I wonder if they're going to take from
dark
that
impulse. Venom comes from a very dark, very dark origin. The comic books went to a different. They crossed the line essentially when they did the origin of Venom and showed where he comes from. And that Venom's been around, like just the symbiotes has been around since the dawn of man.
Yeah, they've been around forever.
Yeah, and it got really dark, and I was just like, whoa. And then Marvel has to sign off on these things. So Morbius, give me a little bit of history on that, is a supernatural character because it's a supernatural curse, a werewolf, vampire, whatever. And Marvel was told from early days that they need to stay away from supernatural because back then everybody was very, very superstitious, and they thought it was not going to drive sales. It was going to push people away from comics. To deal with that. But they took a chance and did it anyway, and he ended up being an anti-hero.
Yep.
He transitioned into a misunderstood person that Spider-Man took as an enemy, because Spider-Man. Yeah. And then he became an anti-hero because he just got sick and tired of people like pegging him as, evil. And he's not in control of his, what happened to him overall. Spider-Man kind of goes through the same thing when his spider gene goes out of control and he starts to mutate. Those two stories collided, and he actually seeked out Morbius and tried to get some information because Morbius is actually a scientist or something like that. I can't remember. Archaeologist, scientist.
Morbius is a very he's like, he's got masters and professor. I don't know what it is,
like,
but he's a very,
genius.
very smart person. Yeah. I mean, to go along the lines with how many other countless vigilantes and superheroes now at this point.
Yeah, it's a typical story. Baki is a typical story. It's like Lizard. It's like everybody, like they start off with a deficiency. Something's wrong with them. They try to find ways, and it's really all due to Spider-Man. All this gene stuff, like it goes all the way back to Oscorp and everything. You know, taking animal DNAs and taking animal genes, splicing them and putting them with human to make a ultra human. I'm not gonna say metahuman. I guess it's a DC term, but to make an ultra human or you know, essentially a mutant of some sort, and try to reap the benefits. But everything in the lessons of Marvel is that every power comes with a responsibility. That's like the overall arc of Marvel. It's just been honed in on Spider-Man, and every action has a consequence, whether it's good or bad. And every character you know in the Marvel universe has a good or bad consequence for everything that happens, like, you know, for their powers. So it kind of boils down to that. And it's really, really cool to see it in action. I can't wait to see what they do with it. Morbius gives me a lot of hope. They had a lot of time to sit on this. Yeah. So my thoughts are they took a lot of notes from Spider-Man. Now, the reason why I say Spider-Man because that's a Sony had a foot in that, right? Yeah, that was it was mainly produced by them. They probably took a lot of counseling from Kevin and team. And you know, they're gonna make it work. And I honestly think this Morbius will fit perfect in the current MCU, especially since little hot off the press, Daredevil's going into early production. Yes, I saw that. So the end of this year, beginning of next year, Daredevil's in production, which kind of has the same vibe that Morbius brings with that dark and gritty. So I'm very excited to see what they do with that. And they have a lot of returning cast members for that, and I'm very happy because I thought Daredevil was great. Anyway, sorry, talked a lot there. There we go. But I mean, one other point, because we were talking about Venom and being dark and gritty. I mean, I wonder if they're paving that route with this potential other version of Venom due to the end credit scene, or one of the end credit scenes for No Way Home, with the symbiote being, you know, spoiler alert, symbiote being left behind. So I wonder if we're going to have, or they're trying to transition out of Tom Hardy's, even though they say they don't, funny Venom, and maybe with this one that's going to be in the Tom Holland verse, be a little bit more towards what we've known and grown up with, or maybe what we're going to see in the Spider-Man video game in a year or two. I hope so. I would like to see 2 iterations, not something that's the same. But if you're going a little bit corny, but then you go a little bit nasty with it, I am all for that. My thoughts is that they mentioned Jameson's son in the MCU as an astronaut. They did mention him. So I feel like he's going to get the Venom first. And we might maybe we'll see Agent Venom in MCU versus Tom Hardy's Venom. Agent Venom would be interesting in the MCU. That's the feel I have, just because the way how things kind of just worked when it comes up to it. So we'll see. You know, it's very big speculation. Also, Deadpool 3 apparently is being shot. Yeah, they just signed on. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but it looks really good. Or at least like a fun movie. The Atom Project with Ryan Reynolds, which has every single Marvel actor in it and an actress in it, apparently. Mark Ruffalo, old school Jennifer Garner, Electra, Zoe Galdano. He's really riding that nice guy. What is that damn movie called? Free Guy. Oh my God, is it Free Guy? That's not Free Guy. It can't be Free Guy, right? But the movie is Free Guy. Free Guy, yes. But like it looks fun. Like he's riding it. Yeah, he's riding it. But the director of Sean Levy of Atom Project is actually, they just said, literally just signed on to direct Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds again. So I just saw it. I'm cool with that. Ryan Reynolds is, when you talk about somebody that's a hardcore fan of something, he's a hardcore fan of Deadpool. And like I almost feel like Ryan Reynolds is like, Marvel, if he ain't gonna make my film early, I'm gonna step in this shit and do it myself, you know, like. Well, I mean, the whole story about Deadpool coming to fruition in the movie, I mean, it's crazy. They slaughtered Deadpool. So, weapon, whatever the hell he was. Weapon X, but weapon whatever. That was horrible. God, I know Ryan Reynolds wanted to like slap somebody with a belt with that one, because that was. He even said, he was like, "Piss, we got to redo this" type thing. He just wanted to play it so bad. I honestly am not a big fan of Deadpool movies. I think Ryan Reynolds is a perfect Deadpool. I just don't think the writing is there. I just, the humor is not, it doesn't age well. It's really shitty humor. I feel. So I hope this Deadpool 3 is good, because I didn't find, everyone was like, Deadpool 2 is a fucking shit. Oh my God. Like, Deadpool 1 got a pass for me. I was like, all right, about a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, only because it was like the first iteration of Deadpool. Second Deadpool, I fell asleep multiple times. Like, I was just like, God dang, man, what is this movie? I don't even know what the movie's about still to this day, because I still
they jumped the shark with that second one for sure. That first one I enjoyed. It was a fun romp. It was cool seeing a better Deadpool. But that second one, man, Cable going all over the place and Juggernaut, though that was cool. Like, I just felt like it was, they were trying to throw too much stuff in it at once, and it just didn't work for me.
Deadpools from two different arcs and comic books and smashing them together, and it just did not work. Because that was supposed to be that parody build of that Deadpool being at the mutant manor or whatever, and him being just like there for no reason. He's not supposed to be there. He just shows up. It was like a very good comic series because it was hilarious, because Deadpool just shows up, breaks the fourth box on everything, talks to the audience while he's in an argument with Beast. He just kind of ignores him and talks to the audience. That's just funny because it's a comic book. It does not work in the movie when you didn't build enough around him.
Yeah, it worked well in the first movie, I thought. Like it worked. It worked.
No. I'm not talking about the fourth wall breaking. I'm talking about like just throwing a bunch of characters in with him, and we didn't get enough time with Deadpool to like actually like him. We like Ryan Reynolds, and that's what sold the movie. We just like Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool, him in the suit, Deadpool suit, yay! But everything else, world building, all that stuff, I wasn't attached. I didn't give a shit about any characters. I didn't care about why he was upset. I was just like, can just put Ryan Reynolds on the camera and just have him stand there, because that's what I feel about this movie right now. Just him in tights, great. Yeah. Everyone's gonna like it. Moving on, you know. I don't know. Hopefully, but the gatekeepers, bro. Let me tell you, people will defend Deadpool 2 to the day they die. That's why I just was like, this is shit. But hopefully Deadpool 3 is good.
Yeah, I started being a little bit of a gatekeeper this week with some of the more recent tweets I've seen about the Batman, even from some people that I know, and I'm like, I can't. Well, I don't get it. We'll get to that.
I have a lot to say about Batman, a whole lot.
And actually, I just looked it up. So you're talking about riding the coattails of Free Guy, excuse me. So Ryan Reynolds' last two movies and Sean Levy's last two movies were Free Guy and Adam Project. So they've hit a single, hit a double, and now they're doing their third movie together, which the next movie is going to be Deadpool. That's crazy that they've literally teamed up for their last three projects. Because or two projects, and now it's going to be three. Yeah, like that's wild.
Successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were successful. So, who knows? I think the problem is that Ryan Reynolds, I'm going to get heat for this. And I love you, Ryan. Like, you're an amazing person.
Get ready to clip it.
Yeah, I honestly feel that you're better with a good supporting cast than you are a solo actor. Because Ryan is very comedic, right? He's comedic. Like,
he's
everything
witty.
He does is
it's
comedic.
Just who he is. Yeah.
Even his serious stuff, he throws comedy in there. I feel like he's as strong as his supporting cast. If his supporting cast member is super strong, then Ryan will shine and he'll be up there. And I feel like every movie had that very obvious. But if he's solo, like spotlight on him, it either goes one way or the other. It's like big extremes. It's either funny or horrible. There's no in between. I don't feel like it's like Nicolas Cage. Just by the way, he has a movie about himself, Lord. No, so it's like Nicolas Cage. Either Nicolas hits it or he fails it, but he's more on this side than hitting it. It's that humor that you either like or you don't. It's like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, you either like him or you don't.
Adam Sandler stuff or you hate his stuff. There's no in between. Old Adam Sandler, new Adam Sandler, type thing.
And let us know what you think, whether you're in chat now, if you're listening at home on the podcast with what we're talking about Ryan Reynolds or anything and everything in between. You can check us out on Twitter at The Comic Show. That's at The Comic Show, and comic is spelled with an X. I'm actually just going to type that right there. There you go. Click on that, follow, smile. There you go. We check it out. We'll answer questions. Obviously, we have our own at Nighthawk Plays and at Technique TV. But yeah, we're going to we check that out, and we're going to be doing a lot of things off of that very soon. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Batman.
The Batman.
I saw it.
Raise your hand if you saw it, chat.
We're not gonna. This is not a spoiler, so those listening, you'll be fine. I'll do my best not to spoil. I shouldn't spoil. I shouldn't be. This will be a non-spoiler review for me. I'm gonna start off saying it's a long ass movie.
Okay.
That movie was long. I felt it. Okay. I felt that it was long. I didn't hate the fact that it was long. I just felt like it was too long. I felt like they could have chopped edit some things and splice some things together to make that movie around like 2 hours and 30 minutes. It didn't need to go almost 3 hours because I literally was feeling it in the theater. I was like, we still got more. Damn, like, you know, like, it wasn't like we got more. Damn, it was like, damn, there's more. Okay, you know, like recline the seat again. You know, it's because when you think it's over, it ain't over. It's still going. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I think they could have broke that shit up into 2 movies, honestly. But anyway, let's talk about the pros. Beautiful movie, beautifully shot. Cinematography was off the charts. I love the noir feel of it. I felt like you guys said Gotham had its own identity. That shit looked and felt like New York for most of the movie. I'm not gonna lie. The shot that they show looked just like Times Square to me. Like the first shot you see in the movie, it looks like Times Square. You know, it just kind of breaks off like this. It has like the runabout, and it has the big, you know, signs and shit. And I was like, oh, that's looks like Times Square. But it's not a bad thing. If it's relatable, it's good. You know, you get that same fizz. When people hear Gotham, they think New York anyway. When a lot of these comic books things are shot, they think New York. So
New York or
like
Chicago,
still,
yeah, it's
still playing off. I mean, people were talking with a really exaggerated New York accent, quote unquote, more New Jersey, I want to say. But it was there. I think Robert Pattinson, fantastic, phenomenal Batman. Bruce Wayne, ain't seen it. Batman, 100%. I honestly think he stole the cake. Probably be my favorite Batman. New wise.
A lot of people are saying
I'm not gonna put Michael Keaton in there. I'm not gonna put him in there because my love for Michael Keaton is nostalgic built more than acting built. Because I would have to go back and watch that film. It's not gonna age well. But I will say, my favorite thing about that movie was holy shit, Penguin. My God. The makeup was out of control good. The choreography in Batman, it was very refreshing to see fight scenes, like actual fight scenes nonstop, like real, like there were fight scenes where they were actually choreographed. It wasn't like CG, because when somebody was trying to hit somebody with a bat, he was like, you know, it felt real. It wasn't like instant catch, instant pop. It was like,
I don't think any of the fight scenes were CGI. If anything was CGI, it may have been the cape. I can't think of an actual fight where any of it was CGI. Like there were aspects of him falling and doing certain things, but like you said, he was beating the poop out of people.
Yeah, it felt like a Batman game. Which is, I think, is really good. It felt like Arkham Asylum. Like the fight scene, it looked like they took a lot of notes from Arkham Asylum. Because it was a lot of surround Batman, get hit, take hits. They just didn't do the slowdown. Thank God they did not do slowdowns in that movie. That's one thing that I was so afraid. I was like, oh my God, they're going to do slowdowns. I know it. And they didn't do it. And I was like, fantastic. The Act 1 is a little slow. Prepare yourselves because they're setting up the world building. It's really not about Batman in general, I think it's more about the Gotham and what surrounds Batman, makes him into vengeance, you know? I think that's more of the thing. Also, I didn't get I understand the vengeance plot, but I didn't feel like Batman was the bringer of vengeance. I think that line, he says it, but I think it applied more to the villains than him. Because that movie, the whole movie is about vengeance based around a certain character. Okay. And our Batman was trying to find out what the hell's going on the whole time. Like, what is going on? One thing I liked about it, he was young, very young Batman. Wasn't the great detective that he is in later life. Very cartoony, the Batman, but if I would have reversed it to make a younger cartoon, the Batman, it would be Robert Pattinson. Okay. His detective skills were good. He was always a step behind. That was green. Dope. Yep. Seeing the defeat of Batman being not in the forefront of it when he thought he was there, but always being played to be a step behind was great. The power players of the film, like the villain power players, I want to say, quote unquote, were really well done. They were realistic. They didn't feel superficial. That was really great. Gotham felt good. It smelled bad. You know, like and I'm not talking about like the actual aroma, but it smelled bad as in like you knew this place was not a cool place to be if you were just caught in the streets at night. You know, at Gotham, it's just like it's a dangerous place. People all around are just, you know, in their own like soaking in their own turmoil. The city felt like it was in danger. It felt like it wasn't a put together city that was a power struggle. You know, that felt really good early on. Oh, Zoe. Oh, God, Zoe. She can, I could be her cat tree if she want to scratch all day, man. Let me tell you, man. Damn, Zoe,
I told you, man.
The best Catwoman in history of Catwomen. Michelle Pfeiffer, you did very well, but Zoe it's like she picked up where Michelle Pfeiffer left off and then made it her own. Like, honestly, like Zoe was Catwoman was her element. You could tell by the way she walked, her attitude, the way she felt. It was very good. It was
owned every single scene she was in. That's what I was trying to tell you about last week. Like when she came on the screen, and you know, I said like they have that old school like 80s kind of like, or not 80s, like 1800 Victorian face, and like the way they always, whenever she was walking, they always had the camera in her face from like her top of her chest up. It seemed like in a lot of cases, like she was walking a runway. Or something. There's something about the way they shot her. It's her attitude, bro. So good.
God dang.
So good.
If I had to rate her 0 out of 10, I like rating women because that sounds weird. Her performance as Catwoman was phenomenal. Yeah. I'll just say that. It was absolutely the best Catwoman I've ever seen. Like out of this world. It was more than I expected. My bar was really high for Zoe based off of what people were saying, but I was blown away. Every time she was on the screen, I just wanted a Catwoman movie. Yeah. Simple as that. She literally... it didn't feel like the Batman. It felt like the Batman and Catwoman movie.
Bat and the Cat.
Because, she just, everything about her facial structure, her look, the way she kind of like put her head down, she tilts her head, like the stuff that she was doing, that's stuff that you can't put in a script. You don't say tilt head to right in script. This is all stuff that is all on the actor to be able to provide those tools to the movie. And her improv, I was just sitting there like, damn. Like everything. I felt for her. Thanks for the sub. Carnage, thank you, man. I felt for the sub. I felt for her emotions for the character. I was in love with the character. I was seduced by the character. Like everything that Batman was feeling, I was feeling in the theater, and I know everybody else was feeling it too. Everything from her walk, the way she did her shoulders. So good. Just, oh my God. She was never surprised in either, because Catwoman in the comics, she knows when somebody's coming, she knows that somebody's there. She was never really like, type thing and like over exaggerating. It was always like, this is what I'm gonna do. You're either gonna do it with me or I'm gonna do it by myself. That's it. And then again, and this is how she was. And they didn't overly play on her sexuality either, which was amazing to me. It's really cool to see that balance, because most people in Catwoman, the must see thing is a sexy girl with a whip.
Yeah,
that's it. They like a dominatrix. They did not make her that way. She was a cat burglar. She meant business, and she was hurt. Very, very hurt. It's like the "who hurt you" moment. Dude. She was hurt. And they could have split that movie into two different. They could make two different movies about the same movie and have Batman's side like POV and the Catwoman's POV, and I'd enjoy it. That was great.
Yeah. Oh, I like.
I think she had a lot of screen time too. A whole lot of screen time
when she the apartment scene when he's trying to figure out who she is and what she's doing, and his reaction to seeing her kind of take that step forward out of the closet, say it's like that it was like that little thing like that. He had no idea what she was doing or who she was, and he gets pulled back by it as Batman, as this great detective. And I thought that was
he knew really beforehand, cool right? Because of that scene beforehand. No spoilers, but there was a scene where they quote unquote meet at a certain point, but he was paying attention the way she was paying attention. She was observing everything, and it was very obvious. So I was like, damn, is
so good.
Such and such gonna see her doing this, but she was very observant, so he knew something was up with her, But the cool thing is, there's a reason why she's going the way she's going, and there's a scene where you would think a normal person would be distraught. she just kind of was like, oh, I gotta handle business now, you know, and the way she was getting dressed and stuff, and like she was just like super stone face, you know, the way she was, and she was still sexy while she was doing it, but it wasn't overly exaggerated. But she was putting on, like, taking off her stockings and putting on the outfit. I was just like, oh shit, good working, Zoe. I mean, wow, what a performance. If anything, I think she's the best actress in the whole movie. I think she stole the show for me. Hands down. I think you're right. I don't think people are going to give her enough credit, but I think she did great. But those two on scene, Robert and Zoe, chemistry was through the roof. I thought it was a brilliant, beautiful. I don't think anybody could have done it better. Right there. Penguin, one of my favorite characters. I wanted more Penguins so bad. I was so excited to see it, like, Colin Farrell knocked it out of the park. Knowing what he has played in, I can't even put the two together. I'm like, I showed Winter, or my wife, I was like, this is who played Penguin. She was like, no. Nope. Wild.
You don't see him at all in it. It's the wildest. No, it's so, you know, and even when you know who it is, and you say, that's Colin Farrell, it's not Colin Farrell. It's so good. Because
the roles he normally plays is so different. And man, that man is I did not know he was that good of an actor. I know he was good, but god dang, bro, he was like phenomenal. Just the whole essence, and 100% took a lot of notes from, who was it, Danny DeVito? That played,
yes, Danny DeVito.
That played old Penguin. You 100% took notes from that. Yeah, because that was a phenomenal performance too. But man, what a performance!
Two different performances, but they were both phenomenal. And we're going to see more of him. Yeah. It was like, what is it? Earlier this week, I want to say they officially announced that they're doing a Oswald Cobblepot HBO Max series. Like,
how do you not, after seeing that beautiful, like
every single character, you can build a world around, and not a world around, excuse me, because you already have a world around it, but you could build a series off of to learn more about him and expand this universe.
And this is what I've been asking for from DC from day one.
I mean,
this is how you make DC films. This is why Marvel is so successful at it. If you do a movie, profound the people that you're going to build on, and then build on them, and then bring the whole picture together. Because that's, once you develop, I have feelings for Penguin. I want to know more.
Yep.
I have feelings for Catwoman. I want to know more. And Batman, I need to see how he develops. Like, I feel this now. I never got attached to any of the Batman like that, because it was always either one shots or like Batman wins today. Batman wins today. Our Batman, you'll see. It's something that the conflict of a superhero not having a happily ever after moment and losing is the biggest takeaway for me. And I think that is probably the strongest thing that they did in this movie, was that there was a lot of losing.
Yeah.
And not enough winning. Actually, were there any wins? No, there were no wins in this, and you'll see what I mean when you watch it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
When you thought you win, you lost something because of it. And it's really interesting. Who else? What else? Commissioner was great. I thought the Commissioner did a fantastic job. It was very, very the Batman cartoony, 100%. I'd be so surprised if they didn't take reference from that, because he was. It was very close. I was like, in my head, I was like, I remember this scene in the cartoon. I remember that scene in the cartoon. Alfred was interesting to me, because this is the first Batman film where Alfred was not showcased a lot, and Alfred is the gentleman that plays Claw in Black Panther. I forgot his name.
Smeagol. Oh my God, what is his name?
He's a great actor. Is he Australian?
Yeah, he's from either Australia or New Zealand. Oh my God, why can't I think of his name right now? As soon as someone says it, it's gonna be like, how did we forget that? But that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was talking about last week. The one of the bigger aspects of the movie that I didn't necessarily like, or it just didn't work for me, was the relationship between Alfred and Bruce / Batman.
Because they did not harp on it, and it was more of it was that classic "you're not my dad" type thing going on with it. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. Andy Serkis. There we go.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Andy Serkis. Yeah.
Yep.
He typically plays like bad guys, because he has the look. And it was weird to see him as Alfred. It didn't feel out of place. It just felt like, type thing, like, okay. I still feel like we need a little bit more Alfred because Alfred isn't a pushover. Mm-mm. They mentioned his military background.
I taught you how to fight.
We were going to get something in there, but we still don't know if this Batman has been trained by Ra's al Ghul or Alfred because they mentioned both essentially for a snippet.
When did they mention the other part? Or he got trained from somewhere else.
He said remain in darkness for 2 years in the beginning of the movie. He said,
that whole
I came
monologue,
from darkness for 2 years.
Yeah.
I remained for darkness in 2 years. That was it. That's all we know. We don't. Yeah, but if you're a comic book reader, you know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But then Alfred says, there's a reason why I train you how to fight or whatever. But it's kind of like, all over the place with that. So the relationship definitely wasn't there. We knew the emotion was there when some certain thing happens. But at the end of the day, I was just kind of like, and who the hell is the assistant? That was so weird.
Yeah, where did she come from? That was an
Alfred
interesting one. Yeah.
Like, who the hell are you? Anyway, I don't know. It wasn't important enough for me to rag on it. I was just kind of like, did they really need to cast a person for this? There's like 4 lines.
Yeah.
Whatever. I guess you needed somebody to pick up the phone. Yeah.
Answering.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, so I didn't necessarily, the more I thought about it, I didn't necessarily see their relationship. It was the first time where I didn't get that relationship. Though you kind of see it at the end. But the way the story unfolds where you last see them together, it makes me want to see their backstory more, the way he was talking about Thomas Wayne and his relationship with him, why he said things and didn't say things.
Circle. Yeah,
you almost kind of wish that was the beginning so you could kind of feel and see them together again. I wanted, like, if you talk about a series again, maybe seeing Alfred kind of teach young Bruce and seeing all that stuff from behind with Thomas Wayne, maybe that so you can kind of feel into that relationship more. But that was one thing I didn't really get.
They had some fluff in the movie they could have cut out and put that in there. There was so much fluff.
But seeing Alfred and Bruce work together, that was cool. You saw that Alfred that you saw in the comics where he's not just a butler.
He's like mentor. I
like that.
It's like old granddad doing a crossword puzzle at the table and you teach you how to do a crossword puzzle without no context.
It was a little bit more of a crossword puzzle. Yeah, exactly.
That's what it felt like. And I was like, this is cool. Okay, I'm liking this. I was enveloped and then they just dipped out and I was like, never seen them again. I was like, all right, cool. They went the Marvel route by focusing on a certain person a lot. Is that who I think is going to be?
A lot.
A kid. Focus on that kid way too much. Way too much for it not to be anything.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Focus on him way too much. I was actually getting sick of seeing him.
I mean,
He was in every major act. He was there. Like, I was just like, why?
He was in the middle of
random
3
damn
of the
person.
major points.
He's like... And if Batman was supposed to be so good at staying in the shadows, how the hell that kid know where he at every time? Anyway, that kid knew where he was every time, bro. It's just weird.
Oh my God, dude. That is so true.
If it's a setup, it's a setup. I feel like it's a setup. There ain't no way they're going to have that kid in that many frames, bro. He got paid his little $10,000 or something. Got all happy. He was in the film. More than half the damn people was in the film. He was in the film just as much as Penguin.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my God, seriously. He probably was. Or even Falcone, I would probably even say. He was probably more than Falcone. But that was... I mean, I get why, especially like halfway through the way
they... the kid. Then why did they spend so much time on him?
I see. Who knows, though? They could be playing a game right now. They could be playing a game because he has said that he does want to... They do want to bring a Robin into this universe and do it properly, unlike Christopher O'Donnell. But I don't know.
Yes.
It's kind of almost obvious because
so annoying.
Because who would he be? The name doesn't make any sense. they're going to create their own version, I think that would piss people off more than anything.
Maybe he'll be a villain. Maybe he's like, you never did anything.
That's what I wanted to ask now that you've seen it. The way that they brought Batman into scenes, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen when it comes to Batman films.
Especially the last one. The last one was dope. Last one gave me chills. The last scene,
showing that he's darkness and he's vengeance, it's black, and the way you hear... You can't hear my foot. Like, dude, I love their because every time you've seen Batman, it's a you turn around, he's there, or
he comes out of the sky.
You're getting this dread, like what is about to happen? Who is this? I freaking love that so much.
No, oh my God, the scene that they completely stole from Michael Keaton between Penguin and Batman. That was awesome. That was awesome. I was screaming, bro. When you hear I was like, what?
Oh my God.
Yeah. We about to have a classic showdown? Oh shit. That scene was hot.
That was awesome. That
was my favorite scene in the whole movie, hands down. Like from start to finish, from the Zoe part all the way to the end. And then the end when he's just like,
yeah. He looks
that was so Michael Keaton, man.
I thought they were gonna
Michael
cut
Bay
that
moment. Oh my God. And he like comes out the car and just like with the chaos, like, bro, we are here. That had me hooked. That was the best scene, in my opinion. That was so good. And that car was awesome. God damn. Anyway, you guys will see it. It's awesome, boy. When you hear that, I was just like,
that was really good.
I was about to fangirl screaming that bitch, man. I was like, we haven't had that in a long time. That's Michael Keaton era shit right there. The whole
you didn't get that with the Tumblr because it was so different, but like it was
Easter
so
egg
good.
With the old Batmobile that he drove to the, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, playing on my heartstrings. Oh my God, dude, that was fantastic, dude. The movie was so good. It was fun. It was fun from start to finish. It was a little long. You feel the length though. Make sure you pee, shit, whatever you got to do before you go to the movie theater, because I'm gonna tell you, it's long and you don't want to miss anything. Now let's talk about one of the real superstars, the Riddler. Holy shit.
Paul Dano. Yep.
That guy milked it, man. He did a really good job. That whoever wrote that Riddler, that was good. That was good. I was on his side for a good bit of it. Not gonna lie, because I was just like, I see why. And then the overarching reason why.
That was so good.
Wow.
I love how you felt for every character. This is what I was trying to say last week. Now you know how he was talking about the orphanage and losing, but like you felt for him, you felt even for Penguin, you felt for Selena Kyle, you felt for everybody in there. It was a power struggle the whole movie.
Right. Gotham was a power struggle from start to finish. We know that place was built off of power struggles. Literally. They go back in history about it. They mention like very historical people that leads a lot of people that don't know anything about the movies but play the games were like, that's where that comes from. Or, oh, that name makes sense, you know? So a lot of stuff was cool. But man, so I'm going to give that guy so many kudos because again, the director does say a little bit more, emotion. They say stuff like that, but it's really on the actor to really deliver a scene. You knew that he was internally destroyed and internally hurt because when we get you ever been so upset that you can't control yourself when you're talking to him and you start screaming, because you're so angry. Oh my God, he did that so many times. And I was just like, bro, if he's not up for an award, I don't know what to say because that internal rage, he brought that out. And I haven't seen that in a very long time in actors. It's like when you're mad, because I know if I'm like so mad that I just can't, I'm trying to compose myself, like that stuff, that he did that so many times. Also, you're going to be very surprised, modern day users and teenagers, hopefully not kids watching the movie. They brought an element into the movie that you are very prone to. Streaming. Yeah. So you'll see a lot of that stuff in there. It's really cool how they play off of it. And I like how it was like, It's 500 followers.
Hey,
It wasn't no dumbass number like 15,000, 50,000 followers. You know, it was like a realistic number. That was pretty cool. Penguin again, fantastic.
So that was the part of it. Like that was a part of it. That third act, that kind of, I'm surprised it wasn't rated R. The way they were doing that was the one part of it where I was like,
it could have been a light R.
Yeah,
it could have been a light R.
Yeah, that was the one part of it. I was like, I liked it because the whole story around it and how it is, like you said. But that's what I was saying. Like I was like, I'm surprised that actually wasn't rated R.
Yo, if the girl that screamed on that, you know what, that recording, that scream was good.
Oh,
I don't know if that's a sample scream because I was like, that scream was good. She got hired for that scream. There ain't no other way.
Oh yeah,
like it definitely wasn't her acting.
Like that was another thing. Like having their relationship, Batman and Catwoman, Selena Kyle, Bruce Wayne, you know, not tie around, even though it was kind of around a big bad. Like it was based on someone else that was. It was a different take on how they came together and how their relationship was bad. So they felt for one another. It wasn't just pure good. It wasn't just pure bad. You saw Selena where she was coming from. She wasn't just a burglar because she could do cool things. She was out and doing these things for a reason.
Got licked by cats.
Yeah, exactly. Like I really liked. It's hard to kind of explain it without spoiling it, but I liked how. Their relationship started and built around. Together. Yes, exactly.
I think the most important thing to take away from this, the element that they brought in to bring them together, you cared about. It wasn't like, oh, okay. And then you just completely forgot about it because she stuck to her guns the whole time. It wasn't like, Batman, let's just have sex and you do what I want you to do. It was like she had a mission. She wasn't going to stop until that focus was her whole focus, the whole movie.
Especially that one scene too. That was really cool.
And I was just like, damn. Oh, also, I don't know who's kicking their foot up in the air left and right, but woohoo. I was hoping it was Zoe. Whoever did that.
I think she did. So I don't know if she did all of it, but they did a lot. Like the scene where they first met in that manner, and she's doing that.
The camera was on her the whole time.
So good, man.
They did a filter where they put her face on somebody else because that's a thing.
And did you notice how she used his cape against him? Like that was so cool. Those little things. Finally seeing the cape going against him.
She's still adolescent because she's this. Focused, she has blinders on. Everything. And that's a very Catwoman thing. Catwoman makes a lot of mistakes because of that, but she's really good at this. Like the target, she's super good at, but everything else going around her, she's very, very like sloppy about it. Yeah. And they show this in the movie. And you'll see it when her and Batman are together. So good. So
to Carnage, your question, in your opinion, did they bring in too many bad guys? I don't think so. They did bring in a few. But
it wasn't even big. It wasn't no big hitters though.
It didn't feel like a lot. Like if you start rambling off the names, Falcone, Riddler, Penguin, like two other names, you think, oh, that seems like a lot. But the way they brought them in, and they weren't all like Spider-Man 3 villains, how they're all three of them are big bad. Like it was more of world building and getting a little bit of a taste. This is where they're starting from. This is where maybe that's what made it work extremely well.
Because Penguin in the movie, as you see, is not the Penguin we grow to see later. This is the start of the Penguin. Like this, like, oh my God, they did so many Easter eggs in the movie. Anyway, but this is the start of the Penguin. You start to see the Penguin kind of like, I'm tired of getting fucking used. Why am I getting blamed for everything? Why do I have to do this? This could be my city. I'm smarter than this. You know, you start to see this growth come along and you start to see him have enough. And then I thought it was really funny that they put him, you know, at a certain scene, he was walking like a penguin.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny because that's a thing. That is actually a thing, you know, of the Penguin. Reasons why when he was a child, you know, he was. You
saw a little brace, I think it was, on his right like ankle. Like you saw the shiny brace a little bit, but you know, it's just going to get more with him going against Batman. Like you just know.
The setups are there. They're definitely gonna have a sequel. There's no way they don't have a sequel. Did they officially
announce it yet? Actually, I'm gonna check that out real quick.
I think they're gonna wait after HBO Max. So here's the thing: only go to the movie theater to see this movie if you really want to see it immediately. Because if you have HBO Max, it's coming to HBO Max apparently in April. So you have HBO Max, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, they're doing a 45-day release window for digital, so it's definitely coming out in April. Sorry,
seeing it on a big screen is very nice, but if you got a big nice TV, being in your own home where you can pause and take a pee, that's probably gonna be the best bet, because that movie is long. Okay, it feels long. You become restless in the theater because you're not at your home. When you're not at home, you don't get to take breaks. You know, you probably have to hold your bladder. I mean, 3 hours is a long time to go, especially if you bought a drink. You know, stuff like that is things that always play in the back of my mind. I started getting antsy. It wasn't me wanting to leave. It was more of me saying like, okay, all right, when you gonna stop? Okay, all right.
Which makes me so interested if there's a 4-hour version of this. Like how I don't even
like a director's cut. No way.
Like I don't even. Well, they apparently test screened like multiple versions, and one of them was a 4-hour version. I'm like,
maybe it's dealing with a flashback that we thought should be in there. Maybe that's there.
Yeah, I know.
It only makes sense.
Yeah, I know one scene with a certain someone in the cell is a little bit more drawn out, and you get a little bit more detail. But that's the only other thing
I did not like the ending. I'm gonna tell you right now, the very, very end, I was not happy with it. Because if I think who it is,
it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 100%. He's come out and said it.
I hate it. I don't want him.
That's what I was saying, man.
I was hoping it was someone else because the shot they did, I was like, okay, I see some issues, right? And I was like, ooh. Yes. And then after I heard like the line, I was like, that lines up with the comic book. I'm done. I hate it. Here.
I just don't want it to be a big bad.
I mean, he doesn't have to be in there at all. He doesn't have to be there.
Yeah, I guess. But
it doesn't even make sense for him to come out now. People are not in their, they're not in their stages yet. This is a development project. It doesn't make sense unless they're playing on the pre aspect of it. Then we have a different shot because there's a whole comic book based around him and his origin story and why he goes the way he goes. And I just really freaking hope that they expand on that and don't do the stupid thing that kills Batman every time. It just ruins the films.
It's like Superman and Lex Luthor. They're always going to be together in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And you can assume who we're talking about when it comes to the Batman now. But I don't know, man. I don't want him to be like, how do I say this?
He should not be selling it. You don't have to sell it with him. You've already won us over.
What I would like to see is what I've seen a couple people talk about, where you're world building. He's not that person yet. You see him maybe get the persona at the end of this, but if there is going to be anything, it's a Riddler and him team up. Because that's from the comic books. That is a comic book. It's wild too because Batman.
He said the title of the book.
Yep.
And I was just like, I would have loved to see Mr. Freeze.
Oh, so now that you saw it, we're okay. So you were gonna say the
Harvey
things.
Dent.
Yeah, they set up for that. They set up for a lot of things, man.
Yeah, because of the whole struggle with Mayor and all that. I was just like,
Yep, exactly.
I'm actually really, you know what? I'm happy Two-Face wasn't just thrown to us because we really need build up for him. And I would have been okay with it because I would have been like, oh, it's not such and such, and I would have been like, oh, it's this person. But we need some build up for him because people don't really.
You can see how they're building up because of the Gotham build, especially with how rampant the what am I saying? The Gotham City PD is no good. What am I looking for? What are they? They're corrupt. How corrupt they are. I mean, that's Harvey's whole thing at the beginning of it. So if you talk about a DA coming in, they're going to whole renewal the city and everything. I mean, they literally set it up perfectly for him.
Yeah, it's there.
They set up so many things. I cut you off. My apologies. You said you were going to say the things that you didn't necessarily like.
No. I did.
Or didn't work well.
That part just they could have just left that out. Also,
Carnage, yeah.
The way the Riddler was acting at the end, I thought was a little over the top. I felt like that was a director cue. I was just kind of like, okay, I get it, but
Do you think he's almost like a little bit of a bipolar disorder where he? Oh no, multiple personality. Excuse me.
Still a child, which makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. When you don't get your way, like no, that makes a lot of sense.
Because even when he didn't get his way, when he had his mask on, it was a different. It was a whole. It seemed like a different person than when he had it.
It's so angry that you have to go. Like your internal anger comes out.
I like that like psycho like killer like when he had to like catch his like.
I feel like he was trying to control it because at any moment he could snap and just rip somebody's head off. But he was just like, and I love that. I love the play up of it. I love when he was talking. I was just like, that's not what I said, like type thing. And like, I love that because it's just like, you're trying me, type thing. And I like that. But and I liked when plans got ruined or whatever. But was it?
No, it's just really bad weather here. And a gust of wind just hit my house. I'm like, what just happened?
But it was just, I don't know. I'm not upset with it. I was just like, it's a little over exaggerated towards the end. The part where I said I didn't like, I think it was a little over the top. Okay. But it could be him reverting to a kid again because he did, he didn't get what he wanted then. He's not getting what he wants now. That makes sense. I can relate that. But the only thing I didn't like about the end was the talk. I thought that was kind of like, they could have left that out and I would have been completely fine with the movie. I think that was a little bit something that's trying to get people excited about things. And I was just kind of like, why?
Interesting.
That shit wasn't even that great. Anyway, I feel like it could have been better.
So if you had three things, what were your top three things that didn't work in the film for you?
So
that person scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't care for the cops too much.
Really? Okay.
I mean, I knew where they were going with it. I just felt like, and by the cop, that's especially that one cop that was like, I hate you, but I love Bruce. But now I love you. That guy. He was like that one cop that stood out all the time. He was always the one that had the shit duties.
Was it the one at the end where he was talking? Yes. Was he Hispanic or like a hard Italian?
I think it was Hispanic.
So he's the one that tells him what the carpeting tool is.
Yeah. Okay. I did not like his role at all. I was just like, it was so contradictory.
Hi, Bruce.
In the beginning, he was like, freak. He's like, oh my God, Bruce. And then he's just like, oh, I like you. I'm like, wait a minute. Don't you hate the Bat? Like, what was wrong with you? I don't know. I felt it was very conflicting. Didn't like that.
Okay. So
I don't even like the way he told him what that thing was. It really didn't make any sense. Like,
it's like, dude, okay, plot point, just throw it in. Just throw it in.
He ain't dumb. Yeah, he knows all. He can crack a riddle in 2 seconds, but he can't. He don't know what a carpeting tool is.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, he's rich. He doesn't know what it's. He's never laid carpet before.
And then, the whole dramatic scene with having to have it to crack the thing, and that shit was like a splinter, bro. I was done. I was like, please.
You're telling me you can't just? Okay, I got you.
That was horrible.
I got you.
The film ain't perfect, guys. There's some parts where you're just gonna be like, this man can kick a door open.
Yeah, but he's like, this little splinter, I gotta bang it out with this thing.
It's a huge fucking chisel too. It ain't small.
It's not small.
And it was like, yeah, that was so dumb. It's like, and you know how hard it is to pull a carpet up from the floor.
Oh, it's not easy. Oh, that is not easy.
I was like, wait a minute. None of this shit makes sense right now. But anyway, it was dumb.
So those are 2, 3. What was it?
Yeah, those are 2. Those are 3. Yeah, the ending, the police officer. That whole scene was just that. They could have not even had that scene. Okay. I would have been good with it. Those are the worst parts.
I think for me it was.
The length of the movie. I think the length of the movie was too long.
Yeah, I said I think there was too many times that they've just. And I understand for the cinematic aspect for it, they held
that kid too much.
They held their they held. You ever notice they held faces for an extremely long time? Even in that back and forth where Batman was investigating the murder and he first sees the boy, Like they held that face like zooming
That's
in.
what I'm saying. It's just
like
that kid,
there was a
though.
little bit
It's
too much
him.
of that. Like I think
It was just that kid though. Everything else felt normal. That kid got on my nerves. I was like, this got to be somebody in the future that's going to be like, you know, in a film, because that kid got more screen time than half the people in Marvel got, and they were superheroes. Like, I was like, please, maybe okay. I'll take the cop. Throw the kid away. Yeah, that kid don't even need. Didn't need to be past Act 1. Honestly, I get why they did it though, because it was him.
It's Bruce
relating.
Yeah, relating. Yeah, of course, because they didn't want to. That was a great way for them to push that narrative of him losing and not having to redo the origin and seeing the death of his family.
They could have did flashbacks of him as a kid though, easy, and just drop that kid out of it. Anyway,
the biggest thing for you hit a lot of the things I didn't like, and we went back and forth on it.
Oh, there's one more too. Go for it. Let's see if you say it.
Honestly, the biggest thing for me that I didn't like in that movie, how the first 2 acts was one movie and the third act was a complete another for me. I actually
really I didn't feel that.
So for me, when I think of Batman, I think of the villains and a one-on-one kind of fight, or even if it's outsmarting, it's more of a trap. The way they used Gotham at the end of the film and how it reminded me a little bit of Dark Knight Rises. I was not a fan of seeing that. I did not want to see destruction in Batman. Like destruction for me
I
is,
thought it was awesome.
See, destruction for me is Superman. That's not Batman. I see Batman in a. Okay, don't get me wrong. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's Gotham.
Gotham is always under construction because it's always torn up.
That is true. But there's something about it where you harp so much on these characters and the world building and the back and forth between them and using that as the big thing. I wasn't. I didn't.
It was needed because
it
was trying to hit a message. That's why, and it's that message is, it's not a bad guy. You know, that was the message. It's a shitty way to say it, but that's the message. You know, because there was a couple of scenes in there I was just like, that whole dramatic. I was like, lightning this is gonna be great. Electricity, water, yeah. And then it was nothing, and it's like, why was it overly dramatic?
Yeah.
even my wife was like, really?
Come on, I was like, man.
That part was wild.
Oh, did you get
more bad gadgets? Yes.
Did you get
the shit on his chest?
That was dope.
Well, okay, wait.
Did you get the big Easter egg at the end? Speaking of that third act, that was one cool thing. The big Easter egg.
Which one?
When he in his leg.
Yes, I know, but I was talking about that. But wait, that's spoiler talk. That's spoiler talk.
That was dope.
I knew immediately.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like,
Yes, more of that. That
was good.
Sorry,
that was good. That was good.
You were
saying,
that
was a very good Easter egg.
Yes, gadgets. Yes,
really well done. But yeah, the bad gadgets. I think they should have been more. The bad thing on his chest was awesome. Yep. I fucking love that thing. I love it.
Yep,
it was really awesome. But I hate how they used it. Like the first part, he was like, bro, you Batman, tear it with your hands.
Knock that shit down. Come on, bro.
Do with that? Anyway, it was so dumb, and they didn't do a batarang.
I kind of like that. I kind of like they didn't use it as a batarang.
That is a standpoint gadget of Batman, a batarang.
But they kind of use that as the batas for that specific instance.
He used that shit as a letter opener, bro. I'm not. Wait a minute. I was like, what? It didn't even cut up. It was like, what? Anyway, it was like opening a package.
Oh my God.
So done with that.
I
imagine him being at home and he's got like UPS. He's like, that's all I can think about.
My God. Did you like how he was tactical? Like he had that big pack on his left thigh. The way like his gauntlet was for the grappling hook. It was. I really liked that aspect of it. That was pretty cool.
Heavy.
Yeah,
it felt heavy. Yeah,
dude, that was probably one of my favorite things in the movies. Not that he got beat up, but I said it last week, seeing him get riddled by bullets.
Oh my God.
Shotgun?
I felt that shit in my chest. Bro. I was like, oh shit. I said it in the theater. I was like, damn. Yeah, that was wild, bro. They did a really good job with that. He didn't feel indestructible. He felt like and then he got pissed off every time he got hurt.
Yeah.
That was dope. But that one scene where he actually got hurt, I felt that shit, bro. I was like, ooh.
Everything hurts right now. Everything's black and blue.
That was so well done. Whoever was the stunt double for that, man,
that person got pulled hard on a road back. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was like, cut that. That scene was awesome. I was like, oh, it was like me and my wife were like, oh, like we felt it. That was so good. That was really, really good.
Oh man.
It had a little bit of comedy. It was like, oh, that was so good, man. It was a good film. It was a win for DC. Finally, a big win. Now it's up to them to take it where they want to take it. They're very much harping. You know what I don't understand? What? They made this big trailer about like DC in 2022, but they pushed everything back. Anyway, so they keep showing it. So stop. It's like showing Gotham.
I have an idea around it, which I am not a fan of. If you look at how things are actually being switched,
presented,
and coming out. So for those of you who don't know, obviously DC had that whole big slate at the beginning: the Batman in 2022, Black Adam in 2022, Aquaman, The Flash in 2022.
Phase one.
Yeah, basically. And all of that got pushed.
Yep.
Black Adam was supposed to come out July 29th. It's coming out now October 25th. Sometime in November, Flash was supposed to get out. That got pushed the longest. That's coming out now in June or July of 2023.
It's actually smart.
Aquaman got pushed like 2 or 3 months in March. And then Shazam stays the same. But Aquaman was supposed to come out after The Flash. Now, Aquaman is coming out first and then The Flash. I hope they're making The Flash a better movie, but I think that DC is going to do the DC thing and somehow figure out a way to bring Robert Pattinson in and not have its own universe.
I think The Flash is it. I think The Flash is destroying the DCEU.
That's why they pushed it?
Yep. I think it's going to destroy the DCEU and welcome you to the new DC. And I believe it's going to be off of the success of these movies, like seeing how these movies line up and how much money these movies make, because a lot of decisions can be made off of like stocks going up, investors investing, stuff like that. Because Batman, I feel like is going to do really well.
Change the game for them.
Again, I was in the theater with 10 people. It was a big theater, the biggest theater. It was 10 people in it. Because I think it's going to do better digitally than it does in theaters. But it was so good. I think I think Flash is going to end the DCEU the way it should. And we'll get some returning people, probably like Gal Gadot, and stuff like that. We'll eventually start getting her and stuff. But I think it's going to be like just a different vibe, different universe type thing. And I'm okay with it. I want them to do that. This is what we've been asking for. They need a fresh start. I think Robert Pattinson's Batman is perfect because he can play Batman for the next 10, 15 years if he wanted to. And he'll be fine.
Actually, you know what? It's funny. Outside of, I had to look this up because you brought up a good point. I had to look this up. Outside of the Blue Beetle and some of like HBO Max, specifically the Silver Screen Cinema. There is only one movie that is actively in development. It's Blue Beetle, and that's 2023. I mean, there's talks about Black Canary, Static Shock was announced at Fandom, but there is nothing officially slated for the DCEU. So you may be right. I hope that's the case. If that's going to be the Flash,
I think Batman is a good solid start for them. This is the most positive feedback we've seen from a DC film, like opening week. Oh,
sorry. Go ahead. Go. No.
No, I'm just saying. I think this is
in recent history. Yeah, I mean the last DC film that came out. Okay, no, it was Suicide Squad, but like of the big solo ones was Wonder Woman 84, and that movie was just absolute trash. Not because of Gal Gadot, but because of everything else. Yeah. Even Pedro Pascal couldn't even save that movie, Mando. So like, which is another thing we got to talk about. But because you said it, Lars, I don't believe it's coming out on the 25th, because you know what I just said that's coming out on the 25th? Gotham Knights? Black Adam! There is no shot
22nd.
Gotham Knights is coming out on the 25th. Gotham
Knights is 22nd.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the 25th.
October 22nd,
oh, please be the 22nd.
Gotham, they're not 2022
gonna,
mixed up.
Gotham Knights release.
I'm pretty sure it's going to come out.
October 25th.
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't think it's coming out on the 25th, because why are you going to put Black Adam?
It's a good
Black
lineup,
Adam
dude.
New release, but on the same day?
Yeah. A movie and a video game, two totally different things. People purchase video games to play later. You play it after the movie. But if you keep that DC hype going, people
October
are more
21st. Okay, never mind. I recant my recent small rant. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I think Gotham is going to come out. I don't think it's going to be as strong as people think it's going to be. Going with very low expectations. I feel like that game is going to be not a rush project, but a project where they kind of just like maybe ran out of budget and they're trying to put out, and then probably going to do like chapter or like live service DLC to it, and people are just going to buy it in that way. You know, I think it's going to be one of those games. The fans of DC will like it. People that are not fans of DC is going to be treated like Marvel Avengers at the end of the day, because Marvel fans like Marvel Avengers. Non-fans don't. I think that's where it's going to land.
Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers Montreal, since Batman Arkham Origins, which came out in 2015 or 2013. I think it was 2013. They have been working on multiple iterations of a video game, one of which a prominent YouTuber, Caboose XL, did a video on, called Project Sabbath. I can in fact tell you that this game has not been in development for 7 years. It's a lot of things you said is probably 100% true, especially when it comes to budget. You know how much money 7 years of starting, redoing, you know how much money that takes and costs?
That's MMO years. That's massive multiplayer online years.
It's
typically an MMO is in development for 8 years. Before it
this game has not been in development no earlier than 2018. This iteration of this game, 2018.
Oh, then that's fine. It's typically in a game of this caliber, that's fine. Like typically like 4 to 6 years for a single player multiplayer game that's not like massive multiplayer. 4 to 6 years is plenty of time. But the problem is that we have a pandemic, so you shave off 1.5 to 2 years, pandemic wise, because your production rate is cut in half more than likely, and then we have to worry about is it live service or not? They haven't given us the meat of the game yet. Like, they better not just release that without telling us what it is, or we're going to get another Anthem. Like, we're just going to get another Anthem.
Well, we have, leading up to October, what will we have? We'd have Summer Game Fest with Jeff.
Comic-Con New York.
We would have Comic-Con New York would be assuming it's still in October. We'd have San Diego Comic-Con as well. We'd have GCX June 11th and 12th in Orlando. No, but like I'm thinking what like big video game event. There may be another DC. Well, that's December. They may have another DC fandom.
Wait, no, Summerfest.
That's what I said with Jeff Keighley.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you
Summerfest is essentially E3.
Yeah, but Warner Brothers never generally has anything good at PAX. They don't generally do.
Yeah, PAX doesn't really do announcements. Announcements are more so around like
E3,
Summerfest,
Summer Game
E3,
Fest, San Diego Comic Con.
Because E3 is slowly becoming Summerfest. Those two are slowly starting to merge together. Yeah, we'll probably have an E3 this year, but it'll be a digital one. I'm pretty sure. Costs too much money to have an E3 in person, and typically you're gonna get more information about video games for Summerfest than you will E3.
Yeah, just because of Jeff. I mean, the guy's.
Yep.
Jeff, let's work together.
The numbers.
Smile.
He's starting to build more numbers than E3. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Whatever. I say get excited for it if you're a DC fan, because we haven't really had a DC win video games in a long time. So just get excited about that, but make sure your bar is low. Know that you're probably going to get a rehashed Arkham Asylum engine that's got some little bit of updates here and there, graphical updates and stuff. But also get excited because it's Court of Owls. You know, I try to be positive on it. Don't know why. One thing that really bothers me is the fact that Suicide Squad got pushed back when that had more news and development than Gotham. At least more than they were willing to share about Gotham. And then that just got completely just like shelved. Oh. So maybe they're like, we need one DC game to come out a year so we can have focus on it. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, honestly, between both of those studios, and WB Montreal is actually a really big studio. They can be in development on 2 games at once. They're a very big studio. They could do like a game they could go a Call of Duty route with Gotham Arkham Knights 1 year, Suicide Squad another year, whatever that second development team is, or then you have Monolith with Wonder Woman and kind of go on a 3-year cycle if they really wanted to. But
isn't Monolith known for their like top-down games?
No, Monolith is a Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. The Lord of the Rings game.
Those have it's not isometric the whole time, but it has that element of like mass battles.
The Nemesis system, I think it's called. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about Monolith.
I mean, that's cool. If they go early, they go in Themyscira with it. Ooh. I kind of like that. See, if they do that.
Yeah, apocalyptic type Wonder Woman would have been sick with Monolith because, that war.
Ooh, yeah.
That would be really cool, but I don't think they're going to go that route, but that'd be really cool. So Gotham's not MMO. Thank goodness. It's a multiplayer game. So up to 4 people.
4-person co-op
or single player controlling up to 4 people. But DC Universe is supposed to have a remake, a rehash, or something like that. A new engine, new graphics, like all that stuff is supposed to be redone. I kind of wish they would just do like DC Infinite or something like that, and just do another game. But whatever. I don't know why they're wasting so much money on it. Also, you still got to worry about Daybreak being over it.
Yeah, Daybreak. And now we got, what do you call it? Marvel's now getting into it. We talked about that a couple of months ago.
Marvel with them Marvel MMO.
Marvel MMO.
I have zero hope for. Zero. I'm more excited about like Spider-Man 2, Wolverine, those development things, because Insomniac is just killing it. I think Guerrilla would do a great job with Marvel as well, because Horizon Forbidden West looks absolutely fantastic, phenomenal.
They could do something. I mean, even Naughty Dog, something like very heavy story driven that isn't necessarily like superhero actiony. Like even though you have Uncharted, but having them kind of play around in that universe, that would be very interesting to see.
I think Naughty Dog needs a new universe, honestly.
Well, they said they are working on something new.
They need to get away from Last of Us. I think Last of Us needs to sit and marinate for a little bit, and go from there. Obi-Wan comes out soon. Actually, I'm completely off. My bad. Let's talk about it in order. Obi-Wan is what? May. Well, let's back
May 25th. May 25th, yeah.
Moon Knight is coming out. Very excited about that. We're seeing a lot more promotional trailers, GIFs about it.
Posters?
Damn. Oh. Dude, did you see that GIF of him, or that little snippet of him when he was standing in the mirror and he was like, put on his glove and then his mask freaking like materialized? Lord, I was like,
so good.
Who is Spawn? It's Moon Knight. Like I was just like, damn, because I was afraid that people were gonna like relate him to Spawn too much. Yeah.
I mean, especially after that first trailer, you saw the mummy, what like his outfit come out and around him, very reminiscent of Spawn. Yeah,
it's really good. This is really gonna, I don't know, I can say make or break, but this is really gonna exemplify his acting skills, because he has to play multiple like personalities.
3 different people.
You hear it in his voice with just going around. I thought it was really well done, especially with his accent. I'm really excited for Moon Knight. I'm overly excited about Moon Knight. It's a dangerous level now because I don't want to be disappointed, but I'm super excited. I have faith in the actor very much. I mean, anything he touches is really great. Anything he touches, and he looks good on film. He's very favored by a lot of people. He's a good looking actor, and like he has the charisma to be able to pull it off very easily. And I think he's going to do great. The one thing that I'm not worried about him, I'm not worried about the main character. I'm worried about the world around him being perfect. That's the thing I'm worried about, because we're in a different area. It's not New York anymore. It's none of that. So now we're starting to build up to Dr. Doom. Introduction is so important. I want to say the Easter egg buildup is way more important than the actual introduction, because you need to feel why a character has weight. You know, you need to feel why this character is important, why they're hinting at him so early on. What does he do? Is he powerful? Because not only do you want to capture the people that read comic books, you want to capture people that don't read comic books to pull them in. Like how they did with Wakanda, because we were very afraid of what they were going to do with Wakanda. So hopefully it goes that route. You know, granted, the movie's about him more than Doom, but it's very interesting to see how they do that.
Yeah, I mean, we already know who the big bad is with Ethan Hawke and kind of the world. It kind of is interesting that we have the Avengers in essentially the States in America. Yeah. And I feel like they're going to be doing, and I kind of like it because of how just the architecture is. If they're going to be doing the Dark Avengers or just what do they call it? Midnight Society, excuse me. And having that based over Midnight Suns, Midnight Society. That's the Doctor's, can't say his name here, Doctor's studio. But having that based in England, because we already know Kit Harington's Black Knight is in England right now with his uncle. And we heard Blade's voice there. So we know he's over there. And now him being Moon Knight being based over there too. And Werewolf by Night's there. Like if they're going to utilize that cast and crew kind of over there and building it out over there, I kind of like that idea. I do like it. Yeah.
Then we have two different teams where we could take a break from one, because it got to a point where people were getting sick and tired of Avengers. Yeah. Avengers, solo, Avenger. You know, it was like, all right, we have these characters, we're building up to Avengers. And it wasn't like people like hated it. It's just like, okay, you know, like give me some time to breathe type situation. So having the fantasy Disney side of Marvel and then having the darker supernatural side of Marvel will be really great to live together. And it's a place where Morbius can live, you know, in there. So those are really cool things to go about, because I kid you not, I felt Spider-Man go from Disney to oh shit, like through the whole movie. It was a transition of growing up. It was like, this was a Disney film. Homecoming was very Disney, you know, and then we got to the last Spider-Man and it was like, okay, we're growing up. And even that last scene of him jumping out the window in that suit, I was like, this feels like this is different. This feels more adult to me. And that was good. And then you have Morbius. So yeah, speaking of Morbius, April 1st, which it's April Fool's.
That was funny. That was funny. Does
that happen to land on a Friday? Probably.
It's either a Friday or a Wednesday.
Or Thursday.
No, it's a Friday. It's a Friday, yeah.
Yeah. So Thursday midnight, you know, typically, or 11 o'clock leading into midnight, typically when the movie will get seen. And you have your early showings. They're probably going to be a week before that. So I have high hopes for that movie because it's been on ice for so long. Everything that I've seen, here's my predictions. The movie looks fantastic. It looks great. The cinematography is great. It doesn't feel like a Marvel movie. It feels more like a underworld, you know, type, you know, vampire movie. I really like a dark twist, cursed, supernatural. But Sony loves to show the whole damn movie through trailers. And I hate that about them. And I really hope that we haven't seen the whole movie. Yeah. That's the only thing that I really hope. Because we haven't even gotten to the promotional trailers yet. When we get to those, you're going to see. Yeah,
we haven't seen the final trailer either, which is usually the long, big one, too.
Yeah, and that movie, man, the stuff that we saw, what movie was it that we saw? Was it Far From Home? Yeah, I think it was Far From Home. Or No Way Home. No Way Home. I mean, we pretty much saw the whole thing without seeing the whole thing because we knew things. That trailer was so long, bro. I was like, oh, what the fuck? It's like a 3-minute trailer. It was so long.
There was a lot in there for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's gonna be great though. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. I think Leto's gonna really live that character out. He looks like a freaking vampire, for God's sakes. I think he's
such a method actor that like I wonder like he played in The Mechanic and he was wasn't that Christian? No, that was Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yeah.
But he's known for getting really skinny, getting really heavy, changing, like all those other things. Like I wonder how much of like the sick, frail character that he plays like is him compared to CGI. And then he just bulked up afterwards for it. Because that's the type of guy he is. I'm actually kind of interested in hearing
it didn't look like he bulked. I think it looks like in the film from what we've seen, he's just like really cut. And they just hide that through baggy clothes. Yeah. You know, it's like baggy clothes he has in the beginning. It's like ultra large, like, you know, long, capey black, you know, that kind of hides your figure. And
I'm a medium, but I have extra large. Yeah.
And then later he ties his hair up. You know, his arms are being seen a little bit more. He has a little bit more hugging clothes. You know, it's kind of like how they played off of it. Looks like as long as they took to shoot this movie, they could have did different phases with him easily.
I mean, it does look a lot better from when we first saw the trailer to the most recent trailer.
Dude,
everything looks a million times better. Yeah. So
it looks great.
It should be good. It should be good. We got two kind of fun ones in a row there, like literally day after day.
Maj for the compliment.
Yep.
Thank you.
Then I don't think there's anything else in April. I mean, obviously we're going to be running through 6 episodes of Moon Knight, which brings us up to May the 4th. Which then
leads into Obi-Wan.
Which then leads into Multiverse of Madness on the 5th. I believe it is. Then
which looks absolutely. I feel like every trailer we see, I get more confused, which is great. I think they're really playing off that Doctor Strange theme of like, we're just going to throw a bunch of freaking scenes at you. You're not going to know what the hell's going on. You're going to think you're going to know, but you don't know.
You think you know, but you have no idea. This is the diary of...
I love how American Chavez it has a really big, like, close-up shot of her. That's really important. I think that's really, really important. Yeah. But instead of kicking dimensional holes, she's punching them, which I'm down with it. Wanda looks... I'm afraid of Wanda.
Oh, yeah. This is the Wanda where we're like, oh.
Yeah, she doesn't look stable, bro. Like, and this leads into House of M.
Yeah, which we talked
so
about.
I wonder if we're gonna get that. So it's like she's very unstable. The more I look at her, I'm like, ooh, buddy. Ooh, are we gonna have a Wanda versus Strange moment?
Oh yeah, they're gonna go. Yeah, they're gonna go head to head in this thing somehow, some way. It's gonna be wild.
Nuts. Or is that what leads to? Dark Strange. I don't know. We all think that this Dark Strange is from What If.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think it is. I think this is like, I had to do what I had to do. I had to gain power to do it. And that power didn't come from a good place. I think that's where we're going with it. Yeah, but we'll see. And 100% Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah, there's no shot.
100% him. Dude, there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's him. The more, because he's in the news a lot lately.
Oh yeah, with Picard
the show was horrible. Yeah. That show was horrible. Boy, that Star Trek show is. You can have a whole episode on how horrible that show is.
Really? Okay.
Oh god. If you're a Star Trek fan, you're pissed right now.
Really? Like the first season, I heard.
Review. God, what? Help me out, chat. There's a couple of guys that do a review. It's 2 white guys. It's called.
Sounds pretty generic, so not gonna lie.
I was watching it in Bike Man stream. I'll get the name for y'all to ask Bike Man, but it's 2 guys that sit down and they break down shows.
YouTube?
Based off of
YouTube or like a Twitch show? Twitch show.
They do YouTube.
Okay.
They have a YouTube channel. But they're known. Like these are writers.
Yeah.
Like one guy's an actual writer and and they break down the show and they're like, how this does not make sense,
Wow.
And they really break, and it really doesn't make sense. I was like, oh, so that's what happened to Patrick Stewart, and he still got old man syndrome. Like what? So it's really, there's so much there, and they're just like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. The writers don't know anything about Star Trek type thing. They only know like the I forgot their names. I have to figure it out. I'll give it to you so you can watch it. And we'll bring it up next time we have a show. But they're really good. And I kind of want to get on that level of like segments for us to be able to break down stuff like that because I really love it. Really good.
You gotta stick to the script.
Multiverse of Madness, Nightshade. We kind of know where it's gonna be at. This is the oh shit moment when things start breaking apart. Kind of what Kang was talking about.
Yeah. So we were kind of confused where things was timeline wise with all the Disney Plus shows because we haven't had a Marvel movie in a timeline correct order since Avengers Endgame. Black Widow was a prequel. Then Spider-Man was like Spider-Man Far From Home, which came after Endgame, was a fast forward too far into the future. But now at the end of then Eternals was like 7 days past the blip. Shang-Chi was what is happening here and there. But
no, Far From Home was 5 year. It was after. It was right after the blip.
They actually said 8. There was a fast forward at the end where they said this took place 8 years and they messed up. It was actually supposed to be 5 years. It was a whole big mess up.
Because it made sense that it was 5 years. Because in the beginning, we saw the blip happen at the high school, and they were talking about, the blip.
Yeah, but the way
how it all happened, they were reporting on it like it happened recent, like really recent. I don't know. I always thought it was 5 years. I never got 8 years out of it. But let's just say 5 years. I think No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness are pretty lined up.
Yeah, so where Hawkeye ended was either shortly before or shortly after where No Way Home ended, and that is the current present day of.
I think Hawkeye's before No Way Home.
Well, the Christmas tree. Oh, well, the Christmas tree was up. So I actually think Hawkeye came after Spider-Man because the tree in Hawkeye came down. The tree was up in Spider-Man.
But they could always just put it back up.
Okay.
The reason why I say that is because it's kind of weird to me that all that shit was happening and Spider-Man didn't show up. The new Spider-Man. Because his whole idea was to be that actual neighborhood Spider-Man that people could rely on with no distractions.
So why wouldn't he be there for that?
Right. So I think that happened.
So either No Way Home or Hawkeye is the current present state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the first movie or the first step forward after that is going to be Multiverse of Madness. But then that actually leads the question, where does Moon Knight? It's like, I feel like this is, I don't necessarily, like, where does Moon Knight fit into this, I guess, then, like, timeline wise, but I don't really necessarily care, I guess, because of who the character is. I think it's more the Multiverse of Madness because that is going to be the setup for the future.
The Multiverse of Madness surrounds Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So it's like the events that happen where he is. And also, a lot of the memories got wiped too, right? So it's just like, I mean, they forgot about Spider-Man, but it's kind of weird because that spell that he did didn't only, it was like Spider-Man and everything surrounding Spider-Man. Yeah, it wasn't just like we forgot who Peter Parker was.
No, they didn't forget about Spider-Man.
Of a Spider-Man, they just don't know it's Peter Parker.
No. So yeah, that's what it was. The way the spell, and for those of you who saw Spider-Man, correct me if I'm wrong. Everyone knows that there is a Spider-Man, but no one knows Peter Parker. The only real person he had left in his life, spoiler alert, passed away. So there is no like family
even
to stay away from. So like
he was.
Yeah, right. No one knows Peter Parker. He's came out of the blip, out of nowhere. Like that's what it is.
But it was supposed to be people know him, but they don't know he's Spider-Man. But the spell got changed and can only be a certain way due to the magnitude of the events that happened, which then probably started a rift of Multiverse of Madness. Mm-hmm. Also, Wanda probably has doing with that too. We're probably going to see, who knows, that event probably didn't spark the Multiverse of Madness. It just kind of like infoed us that, hey, there's multiverses out there. It's just kind of something that sets it up. And Wanda probably triggered something. The stuff that she didn't go unwarranted. And they said that multiple times that consequences will come for her doing what she did. How she tore fabric in space, like just for that one area that she was in. So I think that's a big reason why he's like, I'm not here to talk to you about what happened in such and such place, when they met together. So it's gonna be interesting to see that. But like I said, I don't want to tear it down too much because I don't want to figure it out. I always end up doing this, and I'm like, I knew it. And I'll just sit in the theater with like this kind of like okie doke face on my face.
Also, something for you to watch when we're done with the stream chat, everybody. We knew it was coming today. The Boys season 3 trailer, Red Band, literally just popped out. No, the movie, the show, the Red Band trailer for the season 3. Which actually they announced comes out in June 3rd, excuse me, just trailer, released. Okay. So it's Red Band. We can't show it on here, but as soon as we're done, go check it out, chat.
Yep. There's a lot of things we didn't talk about. There's a new comic book announcements coming out. Marvel debuts the Hulkified Thor. Everybody's getting Hulkified right now. They also released a Miles Morales is Black Panther recently. That's another thing. New Spider-Man thing from Devil's Reign. I don't know what that is. New Spider-Man version of Earth 2902. Wait, they just introduced another Earth? Oh no. Let me go check this out.
Oh my god. This one was a cool one though. Crocodile Loki variant has his official own comic book.
Well, we knew that was coming because of fans. Like those are those things where people get fanned up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
People wanted it. They said they're gonna do it. Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer.
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't talk about. Was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
We can talk about that. We got 15 minutes. That looks fire. That looks fire. We saw a young Luke. I mean, real quick, if you haven't seen it, go see it. We saw a young Luke Skywalker. Vader is back. And it's actually our boy. It's our Anakin boy, which is wild to me. These cast members are coming back. Dope. I'm here for it.
Uncle Owen's back. Like it's they got
Obi-Wan,
this.
Yeah, he
Ewan McGregor, man,
age lines and everything.
What? But like what? Man, Ewan McGregor, what deal did you make with the devil, bro? Like he still looks old.
No, I mean, he looks older, but he does good. He looks good. Age looks great on him.
Yeah. He ages well. He ages like a fine wine.
Yeah. He definitely has the crow's feet in the lines, and they didn't make up that out either, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I love the opening line. We lost. I was like,
it sets the tone, and then you hear so John Williams, who retired from Star Wars, pseudo retired to come back to do the score for the series, and it just the Duel of Fates little like when it was when you see the Inquisitor. Oh, so good. I had high hopes for it, but after seeing that trailer, man, I can't remember the last time I actually got goosebumps and was like, oh, this is like, I can't remember the last trailer that did that for me. And it was the Obi-Wan trailer. It hit everything I think I wanted to see. And it leaves you wanting so much more because you don't see anything from Obi-Wan. You see what's happening in the world around him and presumably what is transpiring and why they're making this compared to just, he went into solitude in Tatooine and he did nothing for years. Like you see kind of why and what is happening, and it just hits every single note for me. The only one, and I feel like because I listened to the Star Wars and Scott podcast by our friends at Rare Drop, Kevin and Tim that they do every week. They just had one out with Sawyer. Oh my God, Sawyer Vision. Prominent TikToker, big into the Star Wars world. They talk about a lot of good stuff, and they brought up, do we want a Boba Fett season 2? But also, because they also talked about the trailer and broke it down a little bit, do we want a Obi-Wan season 2? Because they're marketing it as a limited series event. So Frank, I'll ask you the question because I already know their answers. I guess actually with Boba Fett you didn't see Boba Fett yet, right?
Not all of it.
Okay. So assuming you see all of Obi-Wan and what the trailer, like knowing his story and everything, Obi-Wan, because you're a big Star Wars fan, would you want to see a season 2 of Obi-Wan? And do you want to, and do you think it's going to happen?
Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think the world's it's been far too long since we've seen Jedi and Sith again. Like I think and it hasn't. Think about Jedi and Sith hasn't been really represented live action really well at all.
I agree.
Actually at all. It's just this is the closest thing we're gonna get to like the Old Republic as we can get. When it comes to those two, because they introduce Grand Inquisitors. Mm-hmm. They introduce the Sith, and we have Obi-Wan, and the thought of rebuilding the Jedi Order. In a different light. So that's awesome. I think we can't see that in 6 episodes. Like this is going to take a little bit more than that. I can tell you right now, Star Wars comic book sales are going through the roof right now because of this hype, especially when it comes to the Sith, and especially the Grand Inquisitor comics are on like the ones that you can't buy in stores are being sold on eBay for thousands.
Jesus, man.
So the hype is real because people want Jedi and Sith. The most fans that aren't mega fans are in love with the idea of Jedi versus. I mean, that's what Star Wars was really built off of. So I think that to have actual great representation, because a lot of times I'm seeing people say this looks good. Do this right and let's give us Darth Maul. Do this right and give us like this, that, and the other, and like these other stories. And also, we really haven't had any Darth Vader time at all. We see the birth of Darth Vader and then we see the death of Darth Vader. We don't see like the in between. What makes Vader Vader?
The closest thing in between seeing that Vader rage is Rogue One, the end of Rogue One, which leads into Episode 4. Like if we're gonna see that version of Vader, I am all for it.
I mean, Vader can pull down a whole starship.
I want to see angry prime Vader. I want to see this mother. I want to see him go ham and just lose his cool and everything. I need to
see Apprentice, Palpatine's like golden boy shine. And if they do that in this season, oh my God, bro! Like if they actually pull it off, that's what I'm hoping on. Is that? And now with today's technology, they can do a whole lot.
Oh yeah.
Versus what they had back then.
Did you ever see the trailer that the fans made? Not the trailer, the redo of their fight, Obi-Wan and Vader on the starship. It was so if you look it up, a company or a group, it's like 854, something like that. It was a 2-minute video. They redid the fight in episode 4 between Vader and Obi-Wan, and it's like, this is what we want. This is literally everything we've wanted from it.
Right, because we really haven't, and you know what? We really haven't. Obi-Wan is a badass Jedi, bro. Like in the books, we haven't gotten that from him.
I know that.
He's just like some old guy that complains a lot. Like that. Yeah. That's literally what we got through all the series. He's like some dude that complains a lot, and like he just with his hands and like force comes out. Like it was not. It was very wizardy. Wizardy.
That's what it was. Yep.
And if I think if we see an Obi-Wan that's like all the cords are cut, he has nothing to lose. And, and that's what I want to see. And the birth of Luke Skywalker and why Luke Skywalker is so powerful. We don't get that representation either. And when growing up and seeing Star Wars, I was like, why is this Luke Skywalker so important? He can fly he can fly one of those ships. That's great. He can customize his hand off.
Yeah, like if they're
other than that, he's gone.
Yeah, like if you try to think of how this is going to end, if this is a limited series, obviously your brain goes into so many different areas. I mean, obviously they can literally lead us into episode 4, drop us off at the doorsteps like Rogue One did. But it would kind of be cool to see Darth Vader figure out that that's my son and my son is alive. Oh my God. And I also have a daughter. Leia? Because he thinks it's gone. They're dead. He has nothing right now. He doesn't know anything. And is that what sets his?
Well, he definitely figures it out.
Obviously, Luke, you are I'm your father.
I think that's the gap that they're gonna fill, or they have to fill, is like seeing the young Luke Skywalker training, see the rebuilding of the Republic, seeing where the Sith Empire goes, the rule of 2. Being a super instated with Palpatine, and Vader, and
Sith on film. We've seen Vader, we've seen Palpatine, we've seen I guess Kylo Ren, right? I guess Snoke. Would you count Snoke from 7? Like, would you count him as Sith? Like, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean,
he doesn't really do anything, but like
he's definitely Sith trained.
And then you have Count Dooku. But was General Grievous? He wasn't a Sith. Was he Sith?
He was a Sith. I mean, he was an apprentice and he became Sith. I mean, eventually. I mean, he was a cyborg robot. I don't even know the intelligence.
I mean, I guess on film, if you count those two, we've only seen 5, but think of all the countless Jedi. Oh my God, how can I forget about Darth Maul?
But they just did him wrong because he's an actual badass.
So there's 6. Excuse me, there's been 6, but if you there's countless Jedis. But we've
only seen them. We didn't really see them.
So that leads me to there was so on the 25th it comes out. Then you got Star Wars Celebration coming out on the 26th through the 29th, the first Star Wars Celebration that we're having since 2019, I believe. So they're going to go ham. Is it going to be movie stuff? Not necessarily. Is it going to be video game stuff? I hope so, but I think we're going to see a lot of Disney Plus stuff that we don't know of. And there is a new rumor coming out, which is something that you've stated. Prominent leakers and projectionists of Star Wars related material has been stated that there will be a multi-season show on Disney Plus that will focus on the key characters like Darth Malgus, Darth Revan, Darth Sion, and even Darth Bane, and the story of the Rule of 2. That is where, outside of Acolyte, that is where they may potentially, obviously, take this all with a grain of salt.
Old Republic.
Yeah, that outside of Acolyte.
If they do that, we're in business.
Yeah,
my love for Star Wars skyrockets at that point.
Yeah, I think we've already got, you know, Andor coming out. We have Mando. We got obviously the Ahsoka series. Like, we have a lot of Jedi stuff, but outside of Alkalite,
on Bane.
Yeah, like you're gonna go into these things. You're gonna go into these bad guys. If you're gonna start giving me full shows of what you even said, I think last week too, on last week's episode, if you're gonna go into full episodic adventures focusing on the Sith, because they're not necessarily the bad guys and Jedis aren't necessarily the good guys, and you're showing their stories, especially the Rule of Two and their rise to power and where it came from, and getting real now officially the both sides of their stories. Because some could say that these Sith are more popular in the Star Wars and probably even than the Jedi. It's I'm down
because
for it, man.
The mystery behind the Sith. Yeah. You know, the classic blue versus red. You know, red is always a chaos color. And when you read the books, you start to like say, okay, the Sith aren't too bad, because they're right. Emotion does lead to power, and being a robot is not necessarily the best thing. You're going off of somebody else's rules, and you're not looking at the bigger picture, you know, and that's what the Sith is all about, and how it starts. Now, is there corruption? Absolutely. A Sith will stab you in the back immediately to go to power, because the more powerful you are, the higher up in rank you are. But at the end of the day, that's what makes Darth Bane so great, because he outsmarted literally like all of the Jedi and all of the Sith. He's an incredible character. That the whole idea behind the Sith that we love is built off of him.
So where do I find that story? Where do readers find that story?
Actually,
if they don't,
Plagueis was the one that not Plagueis. Darth Bane, and then Plagueis tries to snuff it and rebuild the Empire, and then Palpatine is in love with Bane and the idea of the Ruler too, and gets rid of Plagueis. You can read those are all the books, audio books, Audible, and look up Darth Bane. I would read that first. And
it's called Darth Bane. Okay.
Darth Bane is a great place to start, because you get to see like the actual Sith Academy and how it all started, and you know, why there were so many different Sith and why were they constantly getting beat by Jedi, and Darth Bane saying this is kind of crap. You guys are doing this the wrong way, and how he goes and reads books on Revan and how Revan influenced him. You can even read Revan first, but I feel like Revan was a little bit more of a disappointment, because you hear Revan being this god, you know, like, and then they didn't really like harp on it as much as I think they could have, and he got his ass whipped. So yeah, I don't know. Start there. Yeah, Revan is really good to start, because you'll learn about Valkus.
Yeah, that's the person you've been talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the most powerful Sith in the universe.
So wait, who? I should know this. Wait, Darth Malgus. What did I just say? Who comes first? Malgus,
no,
Revan, Scion,
Valkus,
or Bane?
I think his name was Valkus. Bane comes before all of them.
Bane is the first out of the ones I stated.
Actually, wait a minute. No, Malgus is before Bane, because Malgus is before Bane, because that's Bane actually answers to Malgus a good bit, and then I don't want to spoil it, but you'll see it.
Okay.
What is his name? What is his name? Wow, they don't even have him on here. They got Darth Sidious.
Yeah. No, I just got that. I have the Duel of Fates now stuck in my head from that trailer. Oh my god! Just give me more Obi-Wan.
There's another one that the reason why Bane becomes so powerful is because he finds the cubes of all the past Sith and he masters. Huh?
What are they? Holocrons? Is that what they call them?
Yeah, they're not holocrons. They call something else, but they're like little cubes that do hold the essence of the past Sith in it, and he interacts with them and learns the ways of the Sith. And some of these are so deadly that they can kill. Yeah,
that was Bane that finds them. Okay,
that it can kill you. Like the training can actually kill you.
That's why Bane is that effing. Okay.
Yeah, he's.
I mean, I'm into Star Wars. I like it, but there's just so much stuff, and I am so lost.
His body that can kill him, like it's wild. His apprentice is just as good too. You'll read about her later. Yeah, she's really nice. But yeah, definitely read them. Anyway, I think it's it.
Yeah, that's time. We're done. Almost perfect timing.
answer your question, Carnage. Hawkeye was awesome. I thought it was really great. It was a comic relief. It was dark. It was what is it called? Die Hard.
Yeah.
It was a Die Hard version, like modern day Die Hard.
Yeah, the characters in it were fantastic.
In Black Panther, I don't know yet. I don't think that. I mean, Shuri is to be Black Panther in the book. I mean, excuse me, in the movie. So I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Fans are wanting a new Black Panther to honor Chadwick Boseman. They're saying, but who knows? I'm pretty sure they're gonna go with Shuri, and I think after Shuri, they're gonna do a Dora Milaje type thing. I think that might be a Disney Plus.
I think they are. I think I heard rumors. Yeah, that they wanted to.
Comic books are popping out.
Yeah, those. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the comics bring everything else. Yep, exactly.
Comics are popping out.
Exactly.
They already got rumors of the comics coming out, and the lead Dora looks just like a Walking Dead lady. What's her name? Damn it! I gotta get better with these names.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Sword Lady. Oh my God, what is her name?
I got you. Hold on. It's
brains collectively don't work some days.
Deny is her name. Yeah. So Deny. Guerrera. I forgot. I don't know how to say her last name, but she's the comic book version. Like the new comic books look like her 100%. And
okay,
she was actually on the forefront of the new Disney Plus promotion.
Yep. Absolutely right.
There's no, they always do there's no reason for them not to, put her on there. But anyway,
it's coming.
Yep. So there you go, guys. Homework. Watch Batman. If you got some time, watch Batman, or wait until April when it comes out on HBO. Catch up on your Star Wars. I got to catch up on Boba Fett, so I'll probably watch all that. Obi-Wan is coming. Moon Knight is coming at the end of the month, so make sure you guys prepare for that. Check out Moon Knight, who he is, his power levels and stuff, and we'll spend some time next week doing that with you guys. Let us know what you're reading. If you're reading some special comics, indie comics, and webtoons, let us know so we can discuss them, look them up, and see what they're all about. Make sure to food for thought before you go is: do you think that trailers open too much about movies?
Well, that's a great question.
Especially comic book world. All right, go ahead, man.
No, I think that's a great question. I was going to say, don't forget to follow us, The Comic Show, on Twitter. Twitter.com/The Comic COMMIX Show. Comic COMMIX Show. Follow us on Twitter. Obviously, you can find me and Frank on there. I'm Nighthawk Plays. Looking at us, I'm Nighthawk Plays everywhere. Plays spelled with a Z. I feel like this is going to be another fun week ahead of us. These weeks have been really slow, and now I feel like the past 2 or 3 weeks, we get to Saturday, it's like, oh, these past 2 days are insane. Like, how are we going to fit that all into one show? So I'm interested in seeing what next week looks like. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. We'll bring up the Boys trailer. We'll talk more Moon Knight, because we really got to get him tonight, because he's a cult-esque type figure that so many people love, that I think we go into exactly what's going on with him, how he's going to fit in this universe is going to be very interesting. But yeah, that's all that I got. I want to say. How about you?
That's it. You can follow me on Twitch. You just click on my name. It's just Technique. And if you are on Twitter, it's Technique TV with the T and the V at the end. Technique with no U, no E, just a Q. Also, please follow if you're listening or in the chat. Twitter.com/The Commix COMMIX Show. Please follow that, because there's going to be a lot of new things coming down the pipeline for that. And you don't want to miss it. Okay. Other than that, thank you so very much for joining us for the show. It was really awesome. Thank you for those that are in chat with the live questions and stuff and live interactions. Those that are listening, thank you for watching our videos. We do pay attention to that stuff. Please leave comments if you have anything to say. Post them on Twitter or post them on the wherever you're watching shit. Post it, make notes, or come join us in chat. We have a lot of new updates coming soon, so following that Twitter is probably the best way to find out what's going to be happening, where it's happening at. Other than that, it's been a great episode 37 of Comics. Thank you for being here. I'm Technique, and that's not how it plays, and we'll catch you on the mix next time. And take it easy. Bye bye.
Next time is Saturday at 12 p.m. Bye. Yep.